We've done a lot of unboxings over the years on this channel, more than I have counted in a long time, and some of them have been great achievements in packing technology and procedure, and others have been kind of baffling how the contents made it to me at all, and some have been great disappointments with damage and other atrocities being inflicted in transit. This is one of the triumphs. From an unboxing perspective, I'm 100% satisfied, and as we cut through this thick, protective plastic coating down to our favorite form of cardboard box, the specifically designed and engineered cardboard box for books, complete with pull tab, that we would hope that more booksellers, publishers, and certainly shippers would use. Well, this is just piling on to the 100% satisfaction I've had with this entire Kickstarter campaign. Now, it's not a surprise. The man behind everything, right, Chris Shepperson, has demonstrated in the past, not only with his own Gaia Complex Kickstarter #1, but with his work on Slay Industries, 2nd edition, that he has a willingness and ability to do all the things that you're supposed to do in a Kickstarter. That is, be upfront about any challenges, negatives, slowdowns, problems, or whatever. Be upfront about any successes and other good news that comes our way. To be transparent about the production of the product that we are investing in, supporting, and helping to create. So it was really with no surprise, but a great deal of joy, that I discovered that this book, sent for an international backer in far-flung Asia, would receive it in a water-resistant plastic coating that was completely sealed. And then inside that, we have our dice securely fastened inside the cardboard lips that protect the corners of the books, and that the book itself is sealed inside this protective cardboard coating, and then inside the cardboard, specifically designed cardboard package that we talked about before, there is a layer of bubble wrap, which turns out to be a bubble wrap envelope, which is completely enveloping its precious cargo. So we have one very water-resistant layer, the thick cardboard, then the bubble wrap, which in itself would provide, some resistance to water before we get to the book and the dice themselves. A true triumph, and the notion of making it possible for someone to get a book the way that you yourself might want to get the book, meaning in an undamaged condition. So while I might seem to be maybe overly enthusiastic to some listeners, I think that most of the people who watch this channel know exactly how I feel, and have probably at one time or another felt the sting of a book that has been demolished in transit from one place to another. But this one, as you can see, has arrived with perfect corners, in perfect condition. And although this is a very rainy season here in Korea, it's 100% dry. Fantastic. Now, if you've been watching the screen, and I hope that you have, you've been seeing the book itself go through the unboxing process, and you've been seeing inside the digital version to get a sense of the layout, the design, the amount of art, the overall visual impact, the balance between the text, the variety of entries, the variety of artistic support for those entries, and that sort of thing, to get an inside view before you get your copy or before you decide to order your own copy. So we've been talking about Hardware 2119, which is the first supplement to come along in support of The Gaia Complex, a cyberpunk dystopian role-playing game adventure, complete with
vampires,
and
AI,
and all the things that you might want to work with in a far-flung but not exactly friendly future. A previous video on the channel has taken a look at the custom system, which supports the game, the 12.3 system. You can find that on the channel. You can find it linked below and in the cards and end notes of this video. So what do you get in Hardware 2119? Well, we get right into the action with more than 50 pages of gear and technology. Some of it easily accessible, some of it not so easily accessible. It's an expansion on the material found in the core book, the Gaia Complex. Now, this covers cybernetics, firearms, melee weapons, grenades and explosives, personal armor, equipment, hacking gear, drones, animals, vehicles, and it's the first 53 pages of the book. Chapter 2 is the black market. Some things might be legally available, some things might not, but this chapter isn't a list of the things that aren't available or, extra cool or the type of gear that you absolutely have to have if you want to survive. No, this is setting material. This helps the game master provide that specific feel of what the black market is like in this setting, in the Gaia Complex. Where to go, who to see, what back alley bar might be like, what a twisted corporate official might be like, that sort of thing. Very useful. This segues into Chapter 3 on the corporations, and we have a deeper insight into a large number of corporations, the things that they make, automakers and automatic weapons makers and that sort of thing. So much material in here, looking at the brands and the people behind them so that we can, again, bring more life into this setting. Chapter 4 is a set of Game Master tools. This looks at things like, the typical stuff like new skills or expansions of existing rules. But it also gets into story ideas, data seeds, data fragments, and going into the background metaplot if that interests you. This brings us to the last chapter, the weapon reference tables. These tables are particularly useful in that they give us all the information that we want, including page references if there's some kind of specific rule that goes along with this particular gear. In the gear section in the book, any particular rule that might pertain to it that you really need to know to have that weapon function distinctly is listed in its statistics. So again, the way the game is approached is to really consider what it takes to play it, what kind of information you need to have at your fingertips, and then to make it available, which is sadly refreshing. Anyway, this brings us to the end of this rapid unboxing and overview of Hardware 2119, a product which from its first proposal at the end of the Gaia Complex through to its initial pitch, the Kickstarter campaign itself, and then the time between funding and delivery has been nothing but a joy and an example to others who want to run their own Kickstarters. Anyway, until the next time, take care.